Hi, everybody. So, being that today is a bit of a blizzard and I'm finding myself stuck at home unexpectedly, I'm betting that many of you guys are too, or maybe you just have a regular work from home lifestyle. And so, I thought it might be nice to offer a quick 15-minute yoga stretch that we can fit into our workday as a break to take some time to reconnect to ourselves and to move our bodies a little bit so that we can return to our tasks refreshed and ready to take them on. And this is also a practice you can do more than once if you've got a little longer time to spare. Great to do at the end of your day as well, or first thing in the morning. Just a good total body connection sort of stretch. So, if you are wanting to participate, go ahead and grab a mat. If you don't have a mat, you really can do yoga on carpet or use a towel. It's about the same size. And you'll see I have a blanket on my mat as well. And that is because my knees tend to be a little tender when I'm kneeling on them. And so a little extra cushion of a blanket can help. So go ahead and grab your supplies. And we're going to start just seated in the middle of our mat. So cross-legged position works well for me, or you can find any way to sit that's comfortable for you. And we're going to start just by tuning into our breath, which is the foundation. It's the most important part of a yoga practice. So sitting up nice and tall wherever you are, I'm going to turn my palms up and let them rest comfortably on my lap. And I strongly encourage everybody to close their eyes just as we start to tune into our natural breath rhythm. So you can take a moment just to feel your breath. So rare that we really pay attention to how it is we're actually breathing, right? Thank goodness we have a mechanism in our brain where we don't have to remember to breathe all day because we would not survive that way. It's so easy to forget. So yoga is all about staying connected to that breath from start to finish. And we can start to build a gradually deeper breath. So drawing in a longer, slower inhale through the nose, filling up all the way to the tippy top, maybe even pausing at the top of that inhale. And then a long, slow exhale all the way through the nose. Maybe again, we pause at the bottom just for a moment and take a few more like that on your own. If it is hard to sit still in the middle of your day or at the end of your day or whenever you're doing this, just know that that is very normal. So if thoughts are racing, or if we're feeling a little fidgety, just allow that to be no big deal. We can just sort of notice it. As we take, how about 3 more rounds of nice deep breath this way? It's so rare that we're encouraged or permitted to turn our attention inward, right? So much of life draws our attention to the outside. And this is just really perfect time for us to start to look within and notice how I'm feeling today. What kind of thoughts are going on in my head, and maybe asking myself what I need. What do I need today to be at my best? How can I show care for myself so that I can be at my best for everybody else today? Really lovely. So if you need to blink open the eyes, if you have them closed, you can go ahead and do that. And we're going to use an inhale to sweep the arms up overhead. So growing long out of your sit bones. And then we're just going to enjoy a simple twist. So the left hand can come behind us to the floor as our right fingertips find our left knee. And we'll start to turn to the left, gazing to the back of the room, over your left shoulder. Pausing here for a few rounds of breath. Again, slowly in through the nose. Exhaling completely. And you can even tighten up those belly muscles here, engaging the core of it. As we enjoy this stretch in the spine. Let's take one more breath here. Exhaling, maybe twisting a tiny bit more. And then we can release and come back through center, using our next big breath in to sweep the arms up once again. And we're just going to twist to the other side. So right hand now comes behind us for support as left fingertips find the right knee. Twisting to the right. trying not to get too ahead of ourselves, thinking about all the things on our to-do list or everything that's left to come for today. See if we can do our best to just be right here. Allow yourself just this few minutes of time. Really lovely. Let's finish a breath. All the way in. Softening into the twist maybe a little bit more. And then we can release and come back to center. So from here, we're going to come into tabletop. So hands and knees. I'm going to turn to the side just so you can see. I'm going to scooch them out a little too. There we go. So yes, hands and knees. This is why a blanket can sometimes be helpful if your knees are tender. And from here, we're just going to arch and round through the spine. So on an inhale, dropping the belly, looking up, rolling the shoulders away from your ears. So shoulder blades kind of pinch together. And then exhale, we're going to flip that. So we're going to round through the spine. Moving our hips towards our chin, chin to the chest, stretching through the whole upper back here. And then we'll flip back and forth between both, just to the rhythm of your own breath. So inhale, dropping the belly, looking up, cow pose. Exhale to tuck and round. And you can feel free to move at your own pace. Your breath does not have to match my cues. So however fast or slow the breath is moving is how fast or slow our cats and cows will be. And you can close your eyes even here as we take a few more. You can feel free to wag the hips a little bit side to side. Sometimes it feels good to just take some organic movement here. You really can't do this wrong. Any way that feels good to move in your body. I like to even make some circles with my hips, my head a little bit, stretching through the neck and shoulders. You can even take these circles bigger and almost swing the hips forward on an in-breath. Exhale, leaning back even further. So just kind of take a few moments to play around here, enjoying your own body today. Your own body exactly as it is without changing anything, whatever aches and pains might be present or any tension or any health issues perhaps. Maybe we can just tune into some appreciation for our body. Focusing on all the amazing, beautiful things it can and does do for us, including the breath, right? We're all breathing if we're here. So simple to be grateful for breath. Rather than focusing on all of our limitations. So just a few more rounds right here. And then we can start to find that home base, that center place, hands and knees. So we're going to, from here, inhale our left toes to the back of the mat, spinning that heel flat so we can kind of stand on that outer edge. And we're gonna inhale, lift left arm to the sky. So I like to circle around through my wrist a little bit here. Oh, I get to look out the window and see the snow falling. It's so lovely. Let's use an inhale to stretch that left arm all the way up overhead. Breathing deep into the whole left side of the body, feeling it stretch and expand and open with every in-breath. Ah, such a beautiful morning stretch here. One more inhale. See if you can reach a little bit longer from fingertips to toes. And then exhale, release it down, coming back to hands and knees, home base. We're going to take a child's pose from here. So open the knees a little bit wider, big toes come together. And we're just going to sit back down onto our heels. Maybe walk the arms out in front of you a little bit more so that your head can rest. And just pause here for a few rounds of breath. We can use an inhale to rise back up to tabletop. And then we'll just take the other side so we can tuck the right toes behind us now. Spin that heel flat as we inhale, lift right arm to the sky. So same thing, you might move around a little bit through that lifted hand. Did anyone wake up this morning and their first thought was, yes, another day. I get to be alive. I'm so awesome. I'm so lucky. Or did that alarm go off and we went, oh no, oh no, I just want to snooze. I'm so stressed about my day, the weather, all of those sort of negative thoughts, right? Inhaling to stretch, right arm up overhead. Let's reprogram our brains. Let's use this time to reprogram the habitual ways in which we think. We can choose to let our life and our happiness be determined by the kind of weather we're having, but I know I don't want to live that way. I want to not waste my energy worrying and stressing about things that are just not in my control. It's so futile. Let's enjoy one more big stretch. That arm overhead getting super long. Maybe spinning the chest open to the sky a little bit. And then exhale once more. We'll come back down and find that child's pose. So knees open a little bit wider. And we can start to settle back. And if your chest doesn't come all the way down and you're more here, totally fine. Again, just working within our limitations, right? Not letting what our body cannot do make us give up or determine how we feel about ourselves, right? Really just appreciating what our bodies can do today. It's so good we carved this time out. So from here, we're going to move into kind of a bigger full body stretch. Down dog is the name. So it's like an upside down V shape we're going to make with our body. So we'll start by inhaling to a pose we already know, tabletop, hands and knees. Tuck those toes behind you. And then we're going to start to press into the palms, making sure our palms are under our shoulders as we start to lift the knees and straighten the legs. So hips to the sky. We're upside down now in our down dog, and this is an intense weight-bearing posture. So if you need to bring your knees down, no big deal. You can come in and out as much as you want. But if we can hold it for a few breaths, let's do that. And I like to bend one knee and kind of press through the opposite heel, and then switch sides. We call this walking the dog. Nice opportunity to stretch out through the backs of the legs. You can even shake the head a little bit, yes and no. And then from here, let's just tippy toe or take a few steps. You can bend the knees a whole lot to walk our feet all the way up to our hands so that eventually we will be in a forward fold at the top of our mat. I'm going to stay in the middle just so you can see. From here, bring your fingertips. Maybe they're up here on your shins or hands on thighs, or maybe your fingertips are on your toes, and we're going to press into those hands, those fingers, and lift up just halfway. So having a nice flat back. Exhale to release it down. Let's do that again. Inhaling up halfway. Exhale, releasing down. One more time. Nice flat back. Extending through the spine. I like to kind of think of a straw. You know that bendy part of the straw that if you pull it, it gets longer? I like to pretend my spine is like that. You can kind of reach and extend and lengthen. And then all the way down. We're going to press into the feet. Soften through the knees. Soft bend as we roll bone by bone in our spine all the way up to standing. I gotta adjust my camera so you can see. There we go. So we're standing at the top of our mat. I'm feeling warm already. We're working up a sweat just from a couple minutes. It's really amazing. Let's inhale in our mountain pose. This is called just standing, arms up overhead. You can lift through the chin. And then let's enjoy a side bend to the left. So that left hand can find your left hip, or it can hang down by your side as we start to lean over to the left, right arm up and overhead. Such a yummy stretch through the whole right side of our body here. Inhale, come up through center. Exhale, we'll switch sides. So again, hand on hip, or maybe extended down the leg. Beautiful. Beautiful. Finish an exhale right here. Inhale, come all the way up. And then exhale, hands to heart center in a prayer shape. This doesn't have to be an actual prayer, although it can be if you feel like you need one right now. And you might just close the eyes for a moment. Just checking in. Do I feel any different than when I started? Just a little time getting the breath flowing and my body moving. What does that do for me? Really wonderful. Just a couple more shapes to round it out. So we're going to inhale, reach the arms up overhead. Exhale, big swan dive all the way back down, arms out wide. So fingertips can once again hover over the feet. And then we're going to step our left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Oh, it's really high-tech stuff over here, you guys. There we go. So yes, stepping left foot back. And then you can go ahead and release that left knee down. So mine is resting on my blanket. Toes behind you can stay tucked, or you can flatten the foot. Left fingertips or palm inside that right foot as we inhale, left arm to the sky. So one more little twist. Same thing, you can feel free to move around the wrist or maybe even make some circles with that whole arm. This is like air guitar pose. Or I even really love here to wrap that lifted arm around my low back and spin my chest a little more towards the sky. It feels so yummy for my shoulders, which are always just so tight. And you might even turn up the corners of your mouth, which is a smile. Very advanced yoga pose. Inhale to reach that right arm back up overhead if it's doing anything different. And then exhale, release it back down. So the hands are framing that right foot. Let's inhale, lift through the chest a little bit. And then exhale, we're going to shift the weight back and start to straighten through that right leg. So my toes have lifted up in doing this. And the idea is to pour our upper body over that straightened right leg. Ooh, my hamstrings are another place. I am just always so tight. And so those tight places might require a sigh or a little extra breath. Maybe you close the eyes here and just practice sticking with something that is maybe uncomfortable, but we know that it's good for us. So often the things that are best for us feel hard in the beginning, right? Starting an exercise practice or maybe eating a little differently. Can feel so tough in the beginning, even though we know it's good for us. So building our capacity to stick with those tough things is really the whole point of yoga. Let's finish one more breath here. One more inhale. Maybe you can soften down just a tiny bit more on the exhale. And then a big breath in to bend back into that right knee. We can tuck the toes behind us. Start to shift some weight, maybe lift that back knee. And then however you can get back to that standing pose. So you can just simply stand up, or maybe you step to that fold. And we're just gonna take the other side. So right foot back this time. Gently lowering the right knee. Right palm inside that left foot. Inhale, left arm to the sky. So we're gonna hang out here, enjoying the twist, taking that left arm through whatever feels good to your body today. Yoga was literally designed to be kind of torturous, right? By the ancient yogis. It's this practice of moving your body in crazy, uncomfortable shapes because it makes us mentally strong to be able to do that. So much more than the physical practice. It's about developing a strong mind. If we can get through the challenges of a yoga practice in all of these really difficult positions, maybe we'll be better equipped to handle the challenges that life throws our way. Let's finish one more breath. Inhaling left arm to the sky if it's doing its own thing. And then exhale once more, hamstring the foot. We'll start to straighten that left leg now. That was my knee that just popped. I don't know if anyone else heard that, but that's why I use a blanket. So if this is a challenging experience for you, first of all, congratulations for making it this far. And as we pause in this intense hamstring opener, we can start to reflect on how we usually handle challenges, right? Do we tighten up and resist them and complain about them and wish them away? Do we run and hide at the second something gets hard, or throw our hands in the air, completely give up? And how is that working for us? Maybe we can start to soften into challenges instead of hardening up against them. What would that be like? Maybe we can start to embrace challenging times and celebrate when something challenges us, because then we know we're growing, we're getting stronger. If something is super easy, it's probably not making that big of a difference in our lives, right? So challenge is something to lean into and embrace in a safe and healthy way. So let's take one more breath here. Maybe softening into that hamstring, sending it a little love. Thank you, hamstring, for getting me around. All right, we can start to bend back into that left knee. And this time, just swing that left knee back. And you can even use your hands to help you, simply so that we can come to our seat one more time. You guys did it. You did so good. So let's pause right where we started for a moment. Bring our hands to heart center. Maybe you close the eyes for these last couple of breaths of your practice, just sealing it all in. Absorbing it for a moment so that you can take this with you into the rest of your day. And finally, a moment of gratitude for yourself. Thank yourself so sincerely for making this very healthy choice. It's been my pleasure to do yoga with you. Namaste to everybody. Thank you so much. I hope everyone has a really good, safe, warm blizzard day.